Run, Forrest, run! This famous line, whether intentional or unintentional, has become a part of Western pop culture reference, while the quote, "Life is like a box of chocolate," has been re-quoted countless times. Find out why in this latest episode of Cinephile, and be sure to visit our Fun Day website for more. Hello everyone, I'm Wade, your Cinephile host. Forrest Gump, 阿甘正传 is a 1994 American drama film starring Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump, a slow-witted but kind-hearted man from Alabama who witnesses and unwittingly influenced several defining historical events in the 20th century United States. This film is based on 1986 novel of the same name by Winston Groom. The story depicts several decades in the life of Forrest Gump, starting with present-day 1981 at a bus station in Savannah, Georgia. Forrest recounts his life story to strangers who sit next to him on a bench. In 1951, in Greenbow, Alabama, young Forrest is fitted with leg braces to correct a curved spine and is unable to walk properly. He lives alone with his mother, who runs a boarding house out of their home that attracts many tenants, including a young Elvis Presley, who plays the guitar for Forrest and incorporates Forrest's jerky dance movements into his performances. On his first day of school, Forrest gets on the school bus, and that is when he meets a girl named Jenny.
You know, it's funny what a young man recollects, 'cause I don't remember being born.
I don't recall what I got for my first Christmas, and I don't know when I went on my first outdoor picnic, but I do remember the first time I heard the sweetest voice in the wide world.
You can sit here if you want.
I had never seen anything so beautiful in my life. She was like an angel.
Well, you're gonna sit down, aren't you?
From that day on, they became best friends. Like peas and carrots, the two would do everything together. Forrest is often bullied because of his physical disability and low intelligence. While fleeing from several bullies, his leg brace breaks off, revealing Forrest to be a very fast runner. This talent eventually allows him to receive a football scholarship at the University of Alabama in 1963, where he is coached by Bear Bryant. Witnesses Governor George Wallace's stand in the schoolhouse door, during which he returns a dropped book to Vivian Malone Jones, becomes a top kick runner, is named on the All-American team, and meets President John F. Kennedy at the White House.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
It's an honor, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
After graduating college in 1967, Forrest is invited to enlist into the U.S. Army. On the first day of basic training, he befriends a fellow soldier named Benjamin, nicknamed Bubba, on the bus, who convinces Forrest to go into the shrimping business with him after their service. In 1968, they are sent to Vietnam, serving with the 9th Infantry Division in the Mekong Delta region. After months of routine operation, the platoon is ambushed while on patrol. Forrest is told to run, so he did. But then he returns to look for Bubba and ends up helping other fallen soldiers along the way before finding him.
If I'd have known this was gonna be the last time me and Bubba was gonna talk, I'd have thought of something better to say.
Hey, Bubba. Hey, Forrest. Forrest, why did this happen?
You got shot. Then, Bubba said something I won't ever forget.
I want to go home.
Bubba was my best good friend. And even I know that ain't something you can find just around the corner.
Forrest saves several wounded platoon mates, including his lieutenant, Dan Taylor, who loses both his legs, and is awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroism by President Lyndon B. Johnson. At the anti-war march on the Pentagon rally, Forrest meets Abby Hoffman and briefly reunites with Jenny, who has been living a hippie's lifestyle. They catch up like old times, but it's not before long Jenny has to leave again. They embrace and say goodbye to each other once more. During his recovery, Forrest develops a talent for ping pong and becomes a sports celebrity as he competes against Chinese team in ping pong diplomacy, earning him an interview alongside John Lennon on the Dick Cavett Show. Influencing the song Imagine, he spends the 1972 New Year's Eve in New York City with Lieutenant Dan, who has become an embittered cripple. Forrest soon meets President Richard Nixon and is put up in the Watergate complex, where he unwittingly exposed the Watergate scandal. Discharged from the army, Forrest returns to Greenbow and endorses a company that makes ping pong paddles. He uses the earnings to buy a shrimping boat, fulfilling his promise to Bubba.
Lieutenant Dan, what are you doing here?
Well, thought I'd try out my sea legs.
Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Yes, I know that. You wrote me a letter, you idiot. Well, Captain Forrest Gump, I had to see this for myself. And I told you if you were ever a shrimp boat captain that I'd be your first mate. Well, here I am. I am a man of my word.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't you be thinking that I'm gonna be calling you sir.
No, sir.
Lieutenant Dan joins Forrest in 1974, and they initially have little success. After their boat becomes the only one to survive Hurricane Carmen, they pull in huge amounts of shrimp and create the Bubblegum Shrimp Company, after which Lieutenant Dan finally thanks Forrest for saving his life. Lieutenant Dan invests into what Forrest thinks is some kind of fruit company, and the two become millionaires. But Forrest also gives half of the earnings to Bubba's family. Forrest then returns home to his dying mother.
Why are you dying, Mama?
It's my time. It's just my time. Oh, now. Don't you be afraid, sweetheart. Death is just a part of life. Something we're all destined to do.
In 1976, Jenny, in the midst of recovering from years of drugs and abuse, returns to visit Forrest, and after a while, he proposes to her. That night, she tells Forrest she loves him, and the two make love. But she leaves the very next morning. Heartbroken, one day Forrest decides to go running, and spends the next 3 years in a relentless cross-country marathon, becoming famous again before returning to Greenbow.
Harper animals!
They just couldn't believe that somebody would do all that running for no particular reason.
Why are you doing this?
I just felt like running.
I just felt like running.
It's you. I can't believe it's really you.
Now, for some reason, what I was doing seemed to make sense to people.
I mean, it was like an alarm went off in my head, you know? I said, here's a guy that's got his act together. Here's somebody who's got it all figured out. Here's somebody who has the answer. I'll follow you anywhere, Mr. Gump.
So, I got company. And after that, I got more company. And then, even more people joined in. Somebody later told me it gave people hope. Nah, I don't know anything about that, but...
After 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours, Forrest was done running and returned home. Back to present day 1981, Forrest reveals that he is waiting at the bus stop because he received a letter from Jenny, who asked him to visit her. Forrest is finally reunited with Jenny, who introduces him to their son, Forrest Gump Jr. Jenny tells Forrest she is sick with an unknown virus, and the three move back to Greenbow. Jenny and Forrest finally marry, but she dies a year later. The film ends with Forrest seeing his son off on the first day of school. Forrest Gump won 6 Academy Awards and received many other award nominations. This film will no doubt go down as one of the classics, a true love story of relentless pursuit and what it looks like to be at the right place at the right time, always. 接下来如果要揭晓今天电影迷《阿甘正传》Forrest Gump 要教我们些什么 Hey, we're talking about a classic today.
Yeah, also one of my all-time favorites. Do you know the famous idiom that originated from this movie?
Oh, for sure. Life is like a box of chocolate. 诶，突然就想吃巧克力了。
那我们今天就来看看跟食物相关的谚语吧。
Oh, that sounds delicious. Let's do it.
Try to finish my sentence. When life gives you lemons,
make lemonade. 随遇而安的意思嘛。
对，也有人说苦中作乐。Okay, what about this one? Life is just a bowl of cherries.
Cherries? Cherries are pleasant. 这句应该是正面的意思吧？
Well, yes， 是指生命中一切十全十美，不过也常用来做反语。
Alright, my turn. You're going to have to really use your noodles with this one.
Wait, 什么面条？
Oh, that just means your brains.
Oh, okay, lay on me.
Okay, tell us what does it mean to say take it with a pinch of salt?
Oh, it means not to take somebody's word too seriously. Like, hey, that's a nice new haircut you got there.
Hey, I happen to like this new look.
Well, I'm Ruby.
I'm Wade. I hope you learned something useful in this episode of Cinephile as I did. You can find more on the Fun Day website.
Let's make every day a fun day.
You can't keep doing this, Forrest. You can't keep trying to rescue me all the time.
They was trying to grab you.
A lot of people try to grab me. Just, you can't keep doing this all the time.
I can't help it. I love you.
Forrest, you don't know what love is. You remember that time we prayed, Forrest? We prayed for God to turn me into a bird so I could fly far, far away.
Yes, I do.
You think I could fly off this bridge?
What do you mean, Jenny?
Nothing. I gotta get out of here.
Wait, Jenny.